So Star Trek Strange New World started, and a lot of people have been saying this is the Star Trek show to win back older fans. And personally, I don't agree with that because, um, not that there aren't people that have legitimate complaints with new Star Trek. They're like the people who hate the new Star Wars, right? A lot of them are just sexist and misogynistic people that will probably never be brought back to the franchise because they want to believe that women and minorities are the problem. And Star Trek has also become the same thing like that. And also, like I know people have said that fans were came back for the Mandalorian, and they definitely did. But the Mandalorian wasn't a spin-off off of the new sequel movies, This show is a spin-off of Star Trek Discovery, the show that has pissed off the majority of Star Trek fans, right? Um, it it's pissed off so many Star Trek fans, just so many. This show's a spin-off. And I get what people are saying because if you don't know what the inception of this show is, basically, when they had shot the original pilot for the original Star Trek series back in the day, they cast a different actor, the actor who's the star of this show, and the pilot didn't work, so they brought in William Shatner, reshot it, and then that's how the Star Trek we know came to be. But they made this so he was a part. So this character was a part of Star Trek history in a way. So J.J. Abrams made it canon in his movies, which are kind of like in a weird timeline of movies. But anyways, that happened. Then in Star Trek Discovery season 2, they brought the character in. Fans really liked him. They said, "Hey, why don't we give this guy a show?" Which is kind of weird that we're on season 4, and they did this back in season 2. Kind of took a long time, but okay. But yeah, so basically, this show is not like Discovery, where Discovery is an ongoing story and narrative, where characters develop, they change, different things happen. You have to watch every single episode to get what's happening in that show. This show's not like that. Basically, this is like the original Star Trek or Next Generation, where of course characters develop and change throughout the series. Like, part of what I love about Next Generation is that fact, right? You do see changes in Picard, Data, and his crew of people, right? You see all that kind of stuff happen throughout the show, but that's not the focus of that show. It's just a simple week to week space sci-fi show where they go to different planets and stuff, and that's basically what this show is. I mean, this episode is pretty much that. And again, here's the main issue I have with this episode. It's a really great episode, I think. It very much felt like old Star Trek in a good way, but also bringing it into the newer era with better special effects and technology and things like that. Like this new Star Trek show will definitely hold up better, most likely effects and like technology wise than like Next Generation and stuff. I love that stuff. I've been watching it since I was probably 10, but it's like obviously there's obviously times change and effects get weaker. Um, but but my main issue with the show is like again I hear all these people doing saying these things about how we're gonna bring back they're gonna bring back old fans with this show. Maybe I definitely think there's a chance that some people can be brought back, but the main issue is if you didn't like Discovery, you have to watch season 2 of Discovery, like all of it, and then you can watch this show. This first episode ties so incredibly heavily into the show, into that show that you cannot not have seen Discovery season 2. And for a lot of people that's a big issue. They hate Discovery. I don't understand it. Like season 1 was a very weak season, and that's really where the hate came from. It was like season 1 was a very weak season. People were very outraged about that show. So this group of people who profit off of being misogynistic pieces of shit, they basically took this hatred that people had for this show, they monetized it and claimed that hey, it's all woke, It's women, they did that. And that's what these people do. And so, I think that's where the hate comes from. But if you actually sit down and watch the actual thing, it's a good show. It's improved since season one. I agree that season one not the best, and it's still not like a 10 out of 10 Star Trek show, but it has improved every single season, and it's gotten better. And people who will actually sit down and watch the show will actually know that, but these people don't, because again, they're being lied to by grifters who profit for money based off of your hatred of women. Right? I know that's a one long-winded explanation, but that's kind of where it's basically. Apologize to turn this video into a rant, but I kind of just get so disgusted with modern Star Trek talk because these are great shows. Picard, Discovery, this show, and yet there's so much negativity around them just based off people who profit off of money, off of making you angry and lying to you and saying things like it's woke without actually watching these shows. They want to tell you these shows are failing, but then they have incredibly high ratings and they get greenlit for spin-offs like this or another season, right? It's just absolutely absurd what these people do. I loved this pilot episode for the most part. I'm excited to see what this show goes, and I think people need to stop with their modern negativity about Star Trek, to be honest. So